Well, alright guys, Robert back out here with another video. We're gonna try a few different bluegill beds today. We're actually right where I'm set up. I've got a bluegill bed right there on that side of me, and then I'm kind of straddled two different bluegill beds. I got another bluegill bed right up in there. So we're gonna sit here and fish off these two bluegill beds here for, I don't know, an hour or so. I putted around the lake for, I don't know, I guess I've been almost an hour trying to find some other bluegill beds and then the ones that I've been fishing. I've been wearing them dudes out for the last couple of weeks, and I'm trying to kind of get away from them and let them bigger ones get up in there. Whenever I come up in here, there's some bunch of mostly smaller ones, but I did see some big ones in here. But the only thing about it is it's just in the hot sun. There's no shade here. We may wind up putting old Beverly top up today. We're gonna see. We're gonna play around out here. See if I can't put a couple of them in the bucket and see what we can come up with. There are some little bluegills here on the beds. I don't know if you can hear that in the background or not, but I'm filling up my live well. I got one already. Pretty good size one. There's another one there. This bed here, it's got some bigger ones on it than the ones that we've been fishing last week or so. There are some big ones in here. But the only bad thing about it is they're all out here in the sun. He wanted that dude. I may have to get my tweezers out on him. But I'll drop him here. Stay still there, buddy. Say hello to the camera. But yep, I caught him on the first cast. I caught one and caught this one. This was the second cast. Got him. I hope that sun ain't gonna be too bad in the video there. I hadn't even got my live well halfway full yet. I already got two fish here to deal with. That's a good problem to have. I'm hoping, my goal is to come over here and get this little bluegill video out here and see if we can't turn around, and after we get a bluegill video up, we may late this afternoon while we're still here see if I can do a little catfish video. I about jerked that one out of his mouth. He wanted that thing. My last video that I made, the last bluegill video that I made, I was talking about in that video about how a lot of people have problems with their GoPro overheating and stuff in the summertime. Me being over here today in this right in the sun, we may find out if this GoPro is gonna do some overheating. Got a bunch of moss on this lake. First thing I did when I throw it over is get right in the moss. But that comes with the territory, as they say. I'm gonna get that dude back out there somewhere. Get it all twisted up here. I'll get all this twist out of it before I get the fish on. There for a second. Oh man, that was a nice one. He jumped plumb up out of the water for that dude. There for a second, when I first got here, the wind was blowing. I thought I was going to be just right in the wind, but no sooner than I got set up good, the wind turned around and went and started blowing out of another direction. Just my luck, huh? Oh yeah. Nice little bluegill right there. I was showing on the other video about the bluegills and the shell crackers. See how that one there, the fin's completely blue. That's a true bluegill. The last bluegill video I think I had 5 shell crackers in there. That surprised me. I didn't think I had any. I done caught 2 or 3 there. I got to turn my camera on. What I may do, since there's so many bluegill in here on this bed right here, until they slow down, I may just let the camera run until they quit biting. Cause I throwed it out there a couple of times and didn't even have my camera on, and I was already getting hit. There we go. I had to get out there a little further for him. But they seem to be biting today. I'm already working up a good sweat out here. That ain't good because Fat Boy don't like to sweat. Put him in the bucket. We're gonna put him in some grease tonight. Man, they just don't like that bug being nowhere close to their beds over there. You throw that thing out there and it's anywhere close to their beds, they're gonna attack it. They don't care what it is. Yep, let's see if I can get him over that little tree limb. Oh yeah, this is a better one here. This is them good fillet size ones. I caught 20 the other day in 2 hours. Video I put out. I've I don't know, probably been here 10 minutes and got 5 in the cooler already. That ain't too bad. We're just gonna fish until our little heart's content. Like I was saying earlier, before I was so rudely interrupted there by one of them little bluegills. My goal today is to film this video here, of course, and then we're gonna turn around and set up this afternoon about 2 hours right before dark, and some spots that I do pretty good normally on catfish. And see if we can't catch old catfish on a rod and reel over here today. I took my jugs out of the boat, so hopefully we can catch them on a rod and reel. I checked some spots where I knew there's normally a bunch of catfish. One of the spots that I checked, I mean, I was like in 2 foot of water, and there was catfish there. They was, like I said, about 2 or 3 foot of water. They wasn't real big ones. They was, I don't know, maybe 5 pounds, 4 or 5 pounds. They was big enough to fit in the grease, as I said. They'll stink the oil up anyways. But I tell you what, here lately, I just love catching these little bluegills. Them things are some fun to catch. We're gonna try to throw this out here and see if we can catch another one. I got my live well full already. By the time it took me to get my live well full, I already had full of water. I already had 5 fish in there. So that's pretty good. I see him there. There's got about 2 or 3 of them over there looking at it, and they ain't too sure on what to go. One of them, little one, popped up there at it. Man, they just don't like that bug over there. They'll pop it. And there he is. Mini bluegill that's in here on this bed. Some pretty good size ones too. I might ought to put me a bigger popping bug on there so I ain't catching the little dinks. But so far, all of them been some fairly good size, I think, except for one. Put him in the bucket. But these little old gnats are getting bad this year too. I'm over here, I ain't even in the shade. I'm out here balling in the sun, and I got these little old gnats eating me up. I got some stuff that I normally use, and I didn't use it last night, and I forgot to put it on. Some of the old timers probably have heard of it. It's called Skin So Soft, made by Avon. If you know anybody that sells Avon, you can get it from them. But it's a bath oil, and what I do is I put that stuff on, get in at night and take my shower. Whenever I get ready to get out of the shower and stuff there, I turn around and take me a handful of that Skin So Soft and put it in my hand in, put it on behind my neck and my arms, and rub it in real good, and come out here the next day, and I normally don't have any problem whatsoever out of bugs out here. I may have a gnat here and there, but as far as mosquitoes, you don't really get no bites from no mosquitoes, really. They keep them off. A lot of the old timers, I used to talk about that Skin So Soft, Skin So Soft. I said, you know what? My grandma, years ago, she used to sell that stuff. And I said, you know what? I'm going to try it. So I got a couple bottles from her. And I tell you what, it works better than any of that old off bug spray or deep or any of that other stuff like that. It works a whole lot better than any of that mess does. I got my little string here wrapped around everything here. There we go. I had to whip it back out there where I needed it. I have to try this other bluegill bed over here on the other side of me. They done slowed down here for a minute. They done seen 2 or 3 of their little friends there. There we go. I had him on the hook, didn't even know it. They done seen 2 or 3 of their little friends there get hooked up and not come back. They're like, no, we don't want no part of that. Hope I don't break this dude. Get all that damn coontail moss on there. Trying to get him out of that's half the problem. Of course, this guy swallowed this thing. Like I said, I just looked down, didn't see my bug there. Put a little pressure on it and it took off. I had to get my little tweezers here out. Get that little bug out of them, but that's what we're using today. A little small bug. A little popping, I call them popping bugs. They seem to work pretty good over here. They do real well. We're fishing over here for these bluegill. We're actually in about 2 foot of water, I'd say. And some bluegill beds. They'll come up here in the spring like this, early late spring, and bed up in these little old beds. And what they do is something lands close to their bed or whatever, they don't want that thing around them. They'll get up there and try to get it out of their bed, and that's whenever you hook up with them. Like that right there. And them little dudes, I've seen them dart 20 or 30 feet over there just as fast as they can swim over there at that little old bug, trying to get that little old bug away from them beds over there. But I tell you what, man, yeah, it is a bunch of fun catching them little dudes right there. Put him in the bucket here in the spring, in the summer. Excuse me there. And then in the summer. Normally around June or July, I'm done get off the bluegills, shell crackers, and I'm catfishing by then. Most of the time, unless I'm just run across the bed and I see a big bed's got a bunch of them on there and I feel like catching a couple of them that day. My intention was to get up early this morning and get over here this morning about daylight. That didn't happen. So I don't know, maybe the next time that I can get over here, I gotta start getting my sleep schedule turned around and stuff, so I can start getting up 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, get over here on these fish and catch my limit and get back to the house. There he is. He wanted that bug. He didn't want to turn loose of it. Get my butt back to the house before it gets too hot in the mornings. Still out here in the afternoons. I hadn't been coming out until about 2 o'clock. But the other spot that I fish, the last couple of videos, bluegill videos that I made, I get over there right at 2 o'clock, and that's whenever it starts to get in the shade over there. And like I said, I figured I'd give that one a rest today. Try to find me some different beds, somewhere where some other people ain't. I don't like to get too many of them off the beds, especially whenever they're little ones. I go find me another bed where I can go find me some bigger ones. Hope you guys have been enjoying watching these videos. We're gonna try to do a lot of fishing out at the Mississippi River this year. River is just so high right now. It's I think they said it was just got into like 29, 28 feet yesterday. River stage in Osceola, Arkansas, which is the closest gauge to where I put in at. And so should be able to get some boat and stuff in the water here in the next week or so. I've been having so much fun catching these little bluegills over here. I hadn't been studying no catfish right now. And them little old bluegill, I tell you what, there's some good eating. You have to clean you about 20 or 30 of them to have enough to even do anything with, but I tell you what, they are some good eating. Man, there was about 3 of them that went up there after that. Uh-oh, hope he can get me in that stick. No, he didn't. There's about 3 of them that jumped up there after that dude. Yes, sir. Let's see if we can get this little fish off here first. A little bluegill. Then I worry about trying to get this grass off my line here. He wrapped me all up in some grass there. That ain't good. You don't want to cause any kind of problem for one of them not to get I'll get a little hook set there. Last time I was over here bluegill fishing, I was using the same type bugs, but I upsized just a little bit and put a bigger bug on there this time. And I I don't know if it's just a different bed or if it's the bug, but I am catching some bigger bluegills for sure. I think it's just a different bed because I haven't been missing that many. Like if it was, you know, a smaller one where he'd jump up there and hit it and wouldn't get a good hook set on him. So I think it's just a bed. There's just some bigger bluegills on this different bed here. Yep, I'm gonna give tweezers out on him again. Man, I tell you what, some of these little guys here, they jump down in there and bite on that thing and suck that thing in there, and they don't want to turn loose of it. We're gonna catch one or two more maybe. I've been filming here about, I don't know, I may have 20 minutes of video on the thing now. Of course, I gotta edit some of that out. Like one time I got hung up. Wasn't no biggie. But I'm gonna turn my camera off here. I'm gonna catch one or two more right here. And then I'm gonna turn my camera off and maybe move. I want to check out another spot that I'm looking at over right up from here, and let my camera cool off there. Like I said, it's about 80 something degrees today. I'm gonna say it's probably close to 85. Let me look at the old cell phone here and see what it's saying. Well, I said that, and I just got a bluegill. Yep, he got off. He got off because wherever he bit, I can tell you why he got off. When he bit that thing, I was trying to get my phone there to see what the temperature was. Let me try this again now. And I didn't, 84 degrees. And I didn't get a good hook set on him. That's why he got off. This little bluegill bed here is a pretty good size one. They ain't got very many holes in it, but it's big. I got one little old limb right there. Just about every fish that I've caught so far has went right straight for that limb, trying to get me tangled up there. That ain't very nice there, Mr. Fish. He probably thinks it's not very nice. Me putting that hook in his lip neither. Some of them old girls nowadays, I've seen them have 2 or 3 piercings in their lip. Every time I see one of them, I think about these fish. I'm like, hey, you look like one of them fish that I caught a couple weeks ago. I don't know what got into these kids nowadays. All the piercings and stuff they be having. Of course, I guess whenever we was younger, we was the same way. I got my ears pierced when I was, I don't know, 16, 17 years old. So I guess back then, I mean, that was the thing back then. And I guess now it's all the piercings has got to be in the nose and the lips and the eyebrows and everywhere else. Parts unknown, as we'll say. But these little bluegill here, they mainly eat bugs. Their primary diet is little bugs. Generally, probably early in the morning, right at daylight, right at dark. Whenever they eat. Man, that dude hit it, and I didn't even see him come up there and hit it. But we're gonna get this one here in. Man, that's a nice one there. He swallowed it too. Yeah. I'm gonna have to get my tweezers out on this old boy. He wants to bounce around there. Yeah, you look kind of funny there with a hook in your mouth there, bud, Dro. See if I can solve that problem. But this one here, he's pretty good size one. He's I don't know if I can do this or not. See how thick he is? He's pretty thick there. He's got a nice little thick body on him. We're gonna put this dude here in the cooler. We're gonna let this camera cool off for about 30 minutes. I don't want it to overheat and just cut off right in the middle of a video on me. So we're gonna cut this thing off for about 30 minutes, and I may actually stick my camera in the cooler. I got a cooler there with 2 bottles of frozen ice. Stick it in there for a minute and cool it down. So anyways, we'll be right back with some more video. Let me get this thing in the cooler and let this thing cool off. All right, guys, took us a little 30-minute break there, maybe 30-minute break there. Took us a lunch break, I guess you could say. Like I was saying earlier, I was gonna turn this camera off here and let it cool down, and so it didn't overheat. And in the meantime, ate me a little honey bun, and little honey bun and Mountain Dew, and now I'm sipping on a nice cold bottle of ice water. It's hot out here. That dude, I don't know how he got that thing. He didn't swallow it, but he's holding on to that thing. I think he got hooked in the top and the bottom lip. But anyways, with that being said, while I was taking my break there before we got back to fishing here, I opened up the live well there, down in there. I don't know how well you can see from here, but drained all my water out, counted my fish. I knew I was getting ready to have to put some fresh water in there, because like I said, it's about 85 degrees out here. The heat index is probably 95. I counted my fish. I needed 2 more fish to have the limit today. Today's limit is 20. So I need 2 more fish. I just caught that one. So we're gonna just let the camera roll there. See if we can't come up with one more fish there to have our limit. I think he's coming up to it now. Yeah, maybe not. I had one run out there. I thought he was fixing to short hit it. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I don't think it's going to be quite 30 minutes, but that's what I've been shooting for. You guys let me know in the comments down in the bottom there how what kind of videos y'all want to see, as far as, you know, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. I know some of these guys, they get out here, they just cut the GoPro on and record until the batteries are dead. All right, guys, that right there's gonna make my limit. I'm gonna put him in the bucket up here, and we're gonna make a move here. Maybe sit up here for a little bit, for a couple of hours. It's only 4:30, so I've been here. I got here at 2:30. I trolled around the lake about 30 minutes, and then I sit up exactly at 3 o'clock on this spot right here. It's 4:30, almost 4:30 right now, 4:27 right now. An hour and a half to catch 20 fish. That ain't too bad. That's better than my last video. It took me 2 hours to catch 20 fish. We're gonna get over here on the other side of the lake. We're gonna swap out some batteries here, put in another SIM card in the camera. Let me try to record a catfish video. I was kind of wanting to wait and start filming my catfish video about 5:30, but we looks like we're gonna be a little hour early. I've got a couple of guys that's been asking me about the catfish over here. I've caught 1 or 2 here and there on some jugs, but I hadn't really been fishing for catfish this year on this lake. I know the catfish has been real bad here the last couple of years on this lake. I've got a couple of guys that fish this thing. They've been asking me about them. They come over here, I think he said Saturday. Phil's the guy I'm talking about. Hey Phil, how you doing, bud? Appreciate you watching the video. He said he'd come over here the other day and caught a whole mess of bass. I can't remember how many bass and a few crappie. The guy that was with him, he had somebody with him, I think. Caught some nice bass, I think. I know some guys was over here Saturday. I think they had some kind of bass tournament here Saturday over here. We're at the Glen Springs Lake, and several 8-pound bass they said was caught the other day on Saturday when they had their little bass tournament. When I got here this afternoon, TWRA, they was here shocking the water, checking the fish. They come in here and they shock this water and stuff. And them fish, they float up to the top of the water and they'll put them in a big cooler, count them, measure them all out and stuff. See how many, you know, what kind of species they are. See if they, I guess, just checking on the population of them and stuff. I wish they'd take the limit off of these bluegill, raise it up to 30, because man, it can sure. You can come over here, like I said, I caught 20 in an hour and a half. I just counted them there. And I was too short, and I just caught them two while I had my camera on here. So, anyways, with all that being said, guys, I'm glad you, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I'm going to spin around here and try to get out of the sun just a little bit. And glad you guys have been tuning in. I was just talking to Mr. Phil there. If you see that little small rock levee there, you know exactly where I'm fishing at. Well, we're going to get around here and find us a big shade tree and some deep water. We're going to set up on some catfish. So you guys stay tuned for the next videos. Hopefully I'll catch a couple of catfish, be able to make another video and put it out. Appreciate you guys watching. Always make sure you like the video. If you not subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I checked the subscribes today. We were right at 20 today. Whenever Mr. Larry Clark, if you're watching this video, shout you out there. Mr. Larry Clark, a buddy of mine that I used to work with doing security a few years back. I talked to him on the phone. He said, yeah, I'm going to subscribe today. I was at 19 yesterday. Today I'm at 20. So I appreciate you there, Larry. But we're trying to get to our 1,000 subscribers. So we can get this thing monetized and really get to rolling. Get some coins going, get some money flowing. The more money we make, the more videos we make. The more videos we make, the more fun we're gonna have. Appreciate you guys watching. Peace.